I'm very pleased to be here to present our government's first provincial budget. This budget is deeply rooted in the values all share as Albertans. We are an entrepreneurial and innovative group. We are hardworking and resilient. We are community-minded and look out for one another. Albertans told us they want a plan that supports good jobs and a strong economy. They told us they want families to have health care and education and all of that to be protected while ensuring that every public dollar is well spent. And that's exactly what we're going to do. Budget 2015 reflects the values and priorities of Albertans while striking the right balance between Alberta's fiscal priorities and our economic and social ones. It achieves three key priorities: stabilizing frontline public services, including healthcare, education, and human services, setting out a responsible path to a balanced budget, and stimulating job creation, economic growth, and diversification. It outlines an ambitious infrastructure plan that will fix roads, build schools, and expand hospitals in communities right across this province, putting Albertans back to work and supporting economic growth. It lays out a careful and responsible plan to return the province's finances to balance through a series of revenue measures, while keeping the rate of program growth under control and promoting economic development and trade. Overall, this budget lays out a responsible economic plan that will serve as a shock absorber to our short-term challenges and grow the economy over the long term. Finally, Budget 2015 begins to repair some of the serious mistakes made by previous governments. Now, some critics will believe and will say that the solution to these tough times is to fire thousands of nurses and teachers. Well, we're not going to do that. In tough times, Albertans rely on their government to protect their families and invest appropriately to restore prosperity to our province. Albertans know that by making better decisions, setting better priorities, and working on a better plan, we can and we will get through these tough economic times. And we'll do it the Alberta way, by encouraging a vigorous and successful private sector, by building on our strengths and our gifts, and by making better decisions about our future together.
Mr. Dodge, your thoughts on capping debt to GDP 15%?
Yeah, you know, there's no particular number that one can point to at which point the debt to GDP becomes really worrisome. So 15% would undoubtedly mean, you know, a few basis points of additional borrowing costs compared to being close to zero or around zero, but that's pretty marginal. So 15% provincially, 30% federally takes you only to 45, which by international standards is a genius low number, right? So 15%, yeah, a couple of basis points, but not very much. What I recommended was that the capital to GDP ratio be something in the around the provincial average. There is no global benchmark, right? There is no global benchmark that you can point to. But what we do know is that the ratio of capital to output turns out to be very important determinant of productivity growth over a longer haul in the private sector, in the industrial sector, as well as in the public sector. So whether the particular number that we ended using, or I ended using in the report, is a exactly right number, I don't pretend it is, but what it does, it would bring Alberta up to roughly the Canadian, the average of the Canadian provinces. And it's eminently a reasonable number as you look around the world.